15 Powerful Speech Openings, Part 2. In our last video, we introduced 7 powerful speaking lines from various successful speakers. Today, we will go through 8 more techniques that speakers use to capture and captivate an audience. You're going to want to stay till the end because we've saved some of the best for the last. Number 8 by Aaron Beverly. He uses something that we all need a little more of. It's called the power of silence. Oh boy, just come out and say nothing.
Be honest. You enjoyed that, didn't you?
The power of silence, coming out and saying nothing. The reason for this speech opening stands out is because the fact that the title itself is 57 words long. The audience was already hilariously intrigued by what was going to come next. But what's so gripping here is the way Aaron holds the crowd's suspense by doing nothing. For about 10 to 12 seconds, he did nothing but stood and looked at the audience. Everyone quieted down. He then broke the silence by a humorous remark that brought the audience laughing down again. When going on to open your speech, besides focusing on building a killer opening sentence, how about just being silent? It's important to keep in mind that the point of having a strong opening is so that the audience's attention is all on you and intrigued enough to listen to the rest of your speech. Silence is a great way to do that. When you get on stage, just pause for a few seconds and just look at the crowd. Let the audience and yourself settle into the fact that the spotlight is now on you. There is something about starting the speech off with a pure pause. Just makes so much beginning more powerful. It adds credibility to you as a speaker, making you look more comfortable and confident on stage. And people want to listen to confident speakers. The other thing I have tested is simply raising my hand and being silent. Just raising my hand all the way up. I don't want to get out of frame here, but all the way up and staring at them. This quiets the crowd if anybody's talking and they're wondering, why is this guy raising his hand? It creates intrigue. It complements total silence. Number 10 from Kelly McGonigal and well-known author Daniel Pink. They use a great style that keeps people intrigued. It's called the power of build-up. We're going to show those examples.
I have a confession to make. But first, I want you to make a little confession to me. In the past year, I want you to just raise your hand if you've experienced relatively little stress. Anyone? How about a moderate amount of stress? Who's experienced a lot of stress? Yeah, me too. But that is not my confession. My confession is this: I am a health psychologist, and my mission is to help people be happier and healthier. But I fear that something I've been teaching for the last 10 years is doing more harm than good.
I need to make a confession at the outset here. A little over 20 years ago, I did something that I regret, something that I'm not particularly proud of, something that in many ways I wish no one would ever know, but that here I feel kind of obliged to reveal.
Use a build-up to open your speech. What do I mean by that? When there are so many amazing ways to start a speech and grip an audience from the onset, why would you ever choose to begin your speech with, "Good morning, good afternoon"? That's another one. Don't clear your throat. Build-ups, they set the mood for something awesome that's about to come in that the audience will feel like what they want to know about. They want to know. Instead of starting a speech as it is, see if you can add some build-up to your beginning itself. For instance, Kelly McDonald's speech, she could have started off with the question of stress itself. It's not a bad way to start a speech, but by adding the statement of, "I have a confession to make," and then not revealing the confession for a little bit, it's called an open hook, open loop, the audience is now gripped to know what she's about to do next. What indeed is her confession? It holds them until they are ready to get their answer. They want to know. It's known in marketing as the open loop. Think of an ad as an example. There are 99 ways to make money in real estate, but today we're only going to cover 3 of them. People are hungry for that information. That's the power of a buildup. You leave open loops. Number 12, Scott Dinsmore. And this is one of the more popular techniques, along with Tim Urban, or Urban, depending, I think it's Tim Urban. It's called storytelling. I'm going to tell you a story about Timmy. Okay, great technique.
So 8 years ago, I got the worst career advice of my life. I had a friend tell me, "Scott, don't worry about how much you like the work you're doing right now. It's all about just building your resume."
So in college, I was a government major, which means I had to write a lot of papers. Now, when a normal student writes a paper, they might spread the work out a little like this. So, you get started maybe a little slowly, but you get enough done in the first week that with some heavier days later on, everything gets done and things stay civil. And I would want to do that like that. That would be the plan. I would have it all ready to go, but then actually the paper would come along, and then I would kind of do this. And that would happen every single paper.
Storytelling, story selling as I refer to it, is the foundation of good and great speeches. Starting your speech with a story is a great way to grip the audience's attention. It makes them yearn to want to know how the rest of the story unfolds. How does it pan out? Tim's use of slides is masterful and something we all can learn from. Truly brilliant. But while his story sounds simple, it does the job of intriguing the audience to want to know more. An open loop. Combine such a simple yet intriguing opening with comedic slides and you've got yourself a pretty gripping speech. Scott Dinsmore's statement has a similar impact. Have you ever wondered, great way to start a story, or think about when you were a child, once upon a time. You know a story's going to follow, ... I have a speaker friend who uses a fantastic technique. He goes, "I've got a great story to tell you." He just starts like that. Who isn't intrigued? Dan Clark, world-class speaker out of Utah, uses this technique. We shared the stage together in Bangladesh of all places, but he says, "I have a story to tell you." The crowd was riveted. Who doesn't want to hear a story? We're programmed to hear stories because our parents talked into our ears telling us stories from childhood all the way up, and we're just grown-up children. 13 and 14 speakers. Larry Smith, and Jane McGonigal, another McGonigal, have something they share, and it's called using provocative, it's kind of a derivation of the question, use provocative statements. We'll show you those examples inside.
I only want to talk to those of you who want a great career. I know some of you have already decided you want a good career. You're going to fail too, because, goodness, you're all cheery about failing. Canadian group, undoubtedly. Those trying to have good careers are going to fail because really good jobs are now disappearing. There are great jobs and great careers, and then there are the high workload, high stress, blood-sucking, soul-destroying kinds of jobs, and practically nothing in between. So the people looking for good jobs are going to fail. I want to talk about those looking for great jobs, great careers, and why you're going to fail.
I'm a gamer, so I like to have goals. I like special missions and secret objectives. So here's my special mission for this talk. I'm going to try to increase the lifespan of every single person in this room by 7.5 minutes. Literally, you will live 7.5 minutes longer than you would have otherwise just because you watched this talk.
Making a provocative statement creates a keen desire among the audience to want to know more and listen to what you have to say. It creates an immediacy to grab their attention. Larry Smith did that just by making his opening statement surprising, lightly humorous, and above all, fearful. These elements led to an opening statement which created so much curiosity among the audience that they wanted to know how the speech pans out. It caused the lean-in effect. Using a provocative, hard-hitting statement makes people pause and they want to find out. Silence after an impactful statement makes them think more and let it sink in with the audience. Number 15. Ramona Smith. I've got to tell you, this is a unique lady. Use entire, wait for this word, body.
Life will sometimes feel like a fight. The punches, jabs, and hooks will come in the form of challenges, obstacles, and failures.
Use your entire body. In a talk, the audience is expecting you to do just that. Just talk. We talked about props, but when you move your body and start pumping and putting your body forward, and jumping around and moving unexpectedly, you're going to capture their attention. It grabs their attention immediately. Body language is critical when it comes to public speaking. How do you use your hands? If I just stood here and did this, you'd be upset. Hand gestures, stage movement, facial expressions are all things that need to be paid attention to when you're speaking on stage. But that's not what I'm talking about here. Here, I'm referring to a unique technique that uses the body to grip the audience, like Ramona did, the former world champ, by using her body to get into a boxing stance, imitating punches, jabs, hooks, uppercuts. That's what got the audience's attention, kept them riveted to her speech of 7 minutes. If you take Ramona's speech and remove the body usage from her opening, the entire magic of the opening falls flat. While the content is definitely strong, well scripted, without those movements, she would not have captured the audience in the same way. And she did it beautifully, as she did when she used her body, writhing around, moving, showing the punches. So if you have a speech opening that seems slightly dull, see if you can include some body movement into it. If your speech starts out with a story of someone running, actually act out the running. Run onto the stage. If your speech starts with a story of someone reading, actually act out reading. Hold a book in front of you. Use that as a prop. It will make your speech opening that much more impactful. Using props, using your body, all of these are great techniques. And these are our 15 powerful opening speeches. I hope you can use all of these techniques, test them for yourself, see which ones work for you. And if you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe. And tell me what you want to learn in future videos. I'm happy to cover it comprehensively. I've been on stages now for 38 years. I'm always learning new and great techniques. Speech openings are needed by every speaker. Rivet your audience.